more on British news, including more royal rumbling, let's go to our chief British news correspondent, Matt Johnston. Now, Matt, can you tell us more about what the royals are up to?
Prince Harry has reached out to Buckingham Palace after his Netflix special. And if they don't respond, they're going to make a sequel. Look, this is the royal family. Like any family, they fight from time to time, or in this case, all the time. But because it's the royal family, somebody usually gets beheaded, or at the very least suffocated with a pillow in the Tower of London. Well, it's the King's coronation in May, and Harry is expected to attend. But this family costs the taxpayer over £100 million a year. And I want to see some return for that. So how about a roast battle or dance-off between the two sons for the crown? Or wrestling, a royal rumble in the jungle, all to be streamed on Hulu.
I love the idea of a royal roast battle, but sounds like they may have opted for the rumble instead. Now, Matt, I want to talk about something a little bit more serious, which is the healthcare crisis in the UK. Can you tell us what's gone on there?
That's right, the NHS, the National Health Service, for those that don't know, and I appreciate that the concept of free universal care to all may be unfamiliar to people, like for instance Americans, or indeed our government. But to be clear, it is the shiny jewel on the crown of this wobbly kingdom, and it has been underfunded by this Tory government for the last 12 years to breaking point. So the nurses are on strike, not only for better pay, which they should absolutely get, but also for a better, properly funded health service.
So Matt, Americans are used to asking this question of our own healthcare system, but how did things get so bad over there?
The problem, as far as the Health Secretary Steve Barclay is concerned, is that there is a rise in COVID and flu cases. And who could predict that winter, the coldest season of the year, would see a rise in flu cases? Unprecedented, I think you'll agree. And he's concerned that they're not freeing up beds fast enough. Now, this does make sense, and in fact, I imagine could be a heck of a lot quicker if people could be sick in half the time, or ideally, not at all.
Well, yeah, that makes sense, but the nurses aren't the only ones on strike right now, is that right?
There are actually strikes across the board in the UK at the moment. Not only the nurses, but the train drivers, bus drivers, National Highways Agency, teachers, emergency call operators, local council workers, and a whole load of others. In fact, the only ones not on strike are the politicians. Actually, they might be, but nobody's really sure what difference it makes if they don't turn up for work.
We can certainly sympathize with that this week as our own government fails miserably at its most basic tasks. So anyways, to end on a lighter note, any New Year's resolutions?
New Year's resolutions? Yeah. I've decided to eat more vegetables rather than vote for them.
Excellent. Thanks, Matt. Pleasure to have you here as always.
Thank you very much and a Happy New Year, and I'll speak to you again soon.